Kia ora, dzień dobry, welcome to Wellsday, and hello from Auckland, New Zealand. We got Przemek in, where are you now, Przemek?
I'm back in Thailand.
Back in Thailand. Nice. So today
Hello.
we're gonna do we're
Good
gonna
morning.
do our March summary of March of key highlights for us. And we discussed it a little bit before this recording as well, that it's not necessarily what happened in March that everyone's talking about, but it's more subjective and things that are highlights for us, and quite often personal highlights as well. So what we're gonna do, first, gonna mention a couple of those things, and then we're gonna delve deeper into this, I'll say, description, or our we're gonna talk more about those highlights of the month. So March, it's obviously 1st of March is the first day of autumn in New Zealand, and I know that in Poland you get first day of
Spring.
well, that's spring, right? But it's on 21st or
That's
March.
right. It's
Yeah,
20
so
days after your
yeah. So it's change of the weather, change of everything right now, but so that can affect us as well. We got 8th of March, International Women's Day, celebrated across the globe. And from those things, what was the other thing in Poland? I think you mentioned that you of course, Easter next week. We got big Easter week, which we celebrate in New Zealand as well. And you got the change of time, I think, or the to daylight savings.
Yep.
In
I will
Poland.
talk it. Yes. In the whole Europe,
Yeah.
we are having the time change this weekend.
Yeah, so we're gonna wait I think 3 or 4 weeks more for that in New Zealand. Right, so my highlights, key three things will be HRNZ Awards on 14th of March. It was a big night. Number two, interesting study on happiness, that it can be learned. That what caught my attention. And number three will be another Netflix reference, which I'm gonna keep until the end. What are your three, or how many highlights you've got for March?
Oh, one of this was time change and the probable aspects of its influence on people's mental health and the ability to sleep and to regenerate after work and after the whole day. Second one is the first in the history post on platform X written by a man with the Neuralink chip. So he's written the post with his thought itself. Yeah, so
Easy.
we'll talk about this, elaborate on this later. And the third one is the Polish competition, well-being competition contest, directed to the companies organized by Wellbeing Institute, and the surprise with the outcome, which is very happy to me and to my organization. So I will talk about this a bit later as well.
All right, well, that's cool. So we got the awards and competitions in March, I can see, and some successes. Right, well, let me get started this time. So I think my three highlights will be nice, short, and sweet, hopefully, although I do like to talk. So first one, HRNZ Awards. That was a big night, as mentioned, in 14th of March. Got 460 HR professionals came to Auckland, New Zealand, from different parts of the country. And it was a big night. I think it was 16, if I'm not mistaken, categories. Span from, there was a Wellbeing Award as well. There was the Emerging Leaders, Maori Leaders. There were L&D awards for medium-sized companies and big organizations, so that was particularly interesting for me. And there was the Volunteer of the Year award, which Auckland branch was a finalist. We didn't win this time, which is, of course, it's a shame, but it's still great to be a finalist, and well done to Waikato branch who won the award.
Congratulations.
To them and to Waikato for winning, to us for being finalists. And there was one other person as well. So that was the individual for the volunteer of the year, which is actually great when you think of that as an award to celebrate people who give back to the communities and do something outside of the normal, say, day-to-day jobs. So great to see this category because it was introduced this year. And from more bragging, the awards, Sudima Hotels and Hint Management won the Building Sustainability Through People award. So we're the winner of this category, which I'm very proud. Although I haven't done too much to contribute to that because it was all last year, and it's some part of it, but it was a great achievement for a lot of people involved in the sustainability and regenerative business initiatives for Sudima Hotels.
Congratulations to your teams. Yeah.
Yes, so that was led by Kanika. She's also in the sustainability area and space and very inspirational work that she does. So yeah, highlight number one, HRNZ Awards. And if you're interested, you can check the HRNZ website. So HRNZ, I think, .org.nz.
We can provide the link below the video.
You can provide the link, and there's an ebook which is called Shaping the Profession, which you can read all about the finalists and winners and their stories, which you can get some inspiration from that. And if you're thinking of HR, L&D, or well-being, as we talk about here, there will be some good stories and examples of what was the problem, so what's the background, what was the initiative, and also what was the impact. So that's the result is quite important for the awards. Because you can do great initiative, but if there is no result, was the initiative that great? I don't think so. So yeah, that's the highlight number one. Number two for me was the study on happiness. That was a study, I think, in Boston, done, which was surprising and not at the same time. Meaning, the whole thing was that happiness can be learned. So we can learn to be happy through, I say, meditation, through some journaling and other work that they describe in the article on the research. But the whole thing is treating it as you go to the gym. So if you go to the gym for a week and you expect to be fit, muscly, and all the stuff, it doesn't work. I mean, look at me, being in the gym. I'm not super bulked or anything. It needs to be constant work throughout the years. And with happiness and
maybe you hide the big biceps beneath the camera.
Oh yeah, and my abs.
Your abs.
Somewhere there. Yeah, I haven't seen them for like 15 years, but yeah, I'm sure they're somewhere hiding. So yeah, they compared it to, say, visiting the gym. And it's a good comparison, but the whole thing is, as I said, surprising and not, because it's the common sense that if you do practice those things, it should lead to better health, better well-being, or improve in your well-being. But these guys actually did study, I think it was 3 years. So they put people on the course on how to be happy. I call it like this, but it was Science of Happiness. I think that was the name of the course. And what happened was after 2 years, they checked on those people, like who were doing or practicing what they've learned in the course throughout the 2 years or 3 years, and compared to the others who didn't. And their well-being and happiness levels were significantly higher, which means, again, practice makes progress. And if you practice certain things daily or regularly, same as with the fitness, if you want to stay fit, you need to practice regularly at the gym or doing anything else to stay fit. Same with our mental, with our minds, but also happiness is one of those things that it can be taught and can be learned and can be practiced. So I think it's quite positive information, although again, it required some commitment. And I'd say from my own perspective, I tried meditation. I don't think that's for me, unfortunately.
Seeing your
But I
reaction.
respect people can
Sorry.
no, I tried it. I tried it and I enjoyed it for some time, but not too long. But I
Mm-hmm.
respect people who can do it and properly, let's say, switch off. Journaling, I did it for like 3 days and I forgot about it because that's what it is. And I think what's the moral from this or in insight is that you need to find something that brings you happiness and do it on a regular basis to keep you happy or keep your happiness level high.
Mm.
So
So
that's
what
my
is this for
take on
you?
it. Well, now I've been busy with a lot of stuff right now. So for me, it's my time and or
Mm-hmm.
me time, as we call it. Because I'm actually more like introvert than extrovert, which
Mm-hmm.
means I need to have time just for myself. So reading a book to the point that I can read a book with absolute silence,
Mm-hmm.
which is very surprising and annoying to my partner sometimes. Says how you can. It's like why there's no music? Why you don't play anything? I say, well, I just focus on reading a book, and it is me time. So that's one. For me, it's also walking the dog or playing with dog to the point that she annoys me, and I say that's too much. And being in nature. So we have a plenty of green space, so trees and everything here, and nature is beautiful in New Zealand. So just going for a walk, 20 minutes. You can be with my own thoughts, but in in a nice environment. That works for
So,
me, and that's something that I'm trying to do regularly.
so how do you cope with the autumn and winter time? Because the weather changes, right? And you say that this
Yes.
walk among the splendid nature brings you comfort. So do you have any
Well,
hacks and
yeah,
tricks?
it's because if it's raining, it's not as nice as it
Yeah.
could be in a sunny day. But the weather in New Zealand is different from what we know from Poland and Europe. Because if
Mm-hmm.
here when it rains, it's actually sunny and nice and warm. So you can still have a nice walk in the rain, and why not?
Mm-hmm. Not to freeze out, yeah? You don't freeze out.
What's that?
You don't freeze while walking.
Yes. No, not in North Island. In South Island, yeah,
Okay.
it gets colder
Okay.
there. So yeah, but looking, things to bring you happiness or joy and cultivate them and do them regularly. So that I think that's work. What would
Mhm.
what would be your things that brings you happiness?
I like I like cooking. So
Cooking.
yeah, whenever I feel down or I've got a worse moment, I start cooking. I think about, is there anything I can cook today that would make me happy? And yeah, so
Nice.
I like cooking. It brings me comfort. It brings me the soothe to my soul. And especially
Mm,
if I can serve, for example, somebody the outcome of the cooking, it brings me joy as well
mm,
because it's a pleasant view for me when I see that people enjoy eating what I cook. So
mm,
I like to cook. I like to cook for people. I like to cook for myself as well. So I think this is the most effective way to make myself happy again. But
mm-hmm.
also I like to do some physical activities as well. So I like to run, I like to swim. So whenever I'm stressed, I try
Get
to
active.
get active here because
Mm,
it relieves endorphins in your brain. So you just forget about the thing that or the thing that depress you, makes you feel down. It's not so big and unmanageable as it used to be just before doing the exercise.
mm, yeah. Yeah, and I think that I say physical activity works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And as I say, it gives you endorphins or it gives you more energy. And how many of us really will get so stressed or so angry that we say, I just need to go and smash it at the gym or do something like really get exhausted at the
Mm.
gym or run or swim, but just to forget or switch off from the stressor, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a difference between escapism and doing
Yes.
the yes and doing the conscious exercising. In my
Yeah. Well, that's a
in
fair
my habit,
distinction.
yeah, in my habit is more than doing the conscious exercising than escapism.
Mm,
It's not like it's very very rarely that I feel so much pressed with the outer situation or circumstances that I cannot manage, I cannot cope with. It
mm,
happened to me like a couple of times in my life. I can count it within my fingers on one hand.
mm,
So yeah, and I think the third way to keep my spirits up is to go to expose myself on the sunlight, which brings me comfort and energy, and also the feeling of being regenerated, so the
mm,
regeneration.
yeah. Vitamin D, right?
Not only vitamin D, because
Oh,
usually when we speak about the sunlight in the major media, you focus only on vitamin D, but nobody speaks about the other other radiations like red radiation, which helps you to regenerate your muscles, or
mm,
the direct white light, which gives you power to think, which gives you power to run yourself through the day. So
mm,
it's not only about the vitamin D. Of course, it's very important, but there's a whole
mm,
spectrum of radiation, of the thermal radiation, of the light radiation, of UVA and UVB, which is in a extensive way very damaging to your body, but uh,
yeah.
in a safe amount is also needed.
Mm, yeah. Well, keep everything in balance, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite interesting. Um, cool. Right. Well, my two highlights. Number three, that's a bonus highlight, and it will be very quick. I'm very happy for the Netflix series Three Body Problem. I've read the book or books, I think so 5 or 4 years ago. Love them, and I couldn't wait for this show to be finally released. So I watched everything, all the episodes right now. Not everything is as said according to the book. It's like inspired by the book, by those books or the series. But I'm still happy and just get very interested and hooked on the idea of what the books are about. So and the series. So if you haven't watched it, go and watch it. If you haven't read it, go and read the books. If you like the fantasy, if you don't like it, don't watch it. You're probably not gonna like it. But
Why
I
is it
still,
in your highlights? How is it important to you?
well, I don't know. It's something that, this is one of my favorite books, and that's why I was very eager to see it come into life and how they're gonna, portray those different characters, and especially because they built a world across centuries. I'm very curious how they approached that. That's my highlight because I've been waiting for this for some time. And when they say, "Oh, we're gonna release this movie or series, and it's gonna be in 2 years," and you're thinking, "Oh gosh, it's like 2 years. It's like a long time." And suddenly 2 years gone and it's in. I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm very excited to see that. So I know it's not HRO or related thing, but we're talking about well-being, and I think that contributes to my well-being to see a good series, and that's subjective, of course, it's subjective, but I'm very happy with that.
Hmm. I've seen this sitcom as well, all the 8 episodes, and I've read the books as well a couple of years ago.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
I think it's very well made. As you said, a little bit different from the books, but in a
yeah.
accepted it fits the acceptable level of customization.
Parameters, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think it didn't look like it's like, oh, this is like way
something
off.
like Witcher.
I haven't actually read the book.
Okay.
any books, Sapkowski. So I can't say I only played the games, video games.
It's the video game is very close to the books, and the sitcom is not. So lucky for you that you haven't seen the sitcom. If you haven't
Oh,
seen it,
serious? Yeah,
say the series. Yeah.
yeah. Ah,
Uh,
well, that's my three highlights.
hmm.
So I'm not sure if would you consider Three Body Problem as a highlight for you as well this month, or not really?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that this is very unique picture because it can change the way people fit their the perspective of being within this world. Because usually people are accustomed that every person is the center of the uh, all uh, all that is happening around. Like you are the center of all the things that are happening around you, and I'm the center of all the things that happens around me. But
Hmm.
uh, so this is the world we know now. But there's another, not to give any spoiler to the person who haven't seen this series. But when there's spotted a new, let's say, mm, a change in the world we know. So like
Hmm.
external discrepancy or external, uh, let's say, source of change, external, let's say, external problem. Yes, that changes
Mm-hmm.
the environment.
Perception or the yeah.
Pardon?
I thought that there is like something happens or something external, that problem or a thing that changes our perception or have
Yeah,
impact on
an
our
external
environment.
circumstance that that completely changes the environment we used to live in. So I think this series may give the picture of different types of people personalities, how people
Mm.
react to the external problem, but the problem like a huge problem, not the problem we know
Mhm.
in our
Yeah.
lives, but something that nobody expects, and it can give the picture, the image of the polarization uh, of human reactions for a significant change that happens.
Yeah.
So from the psychological point of view, it can be very, very interesting to observe because I think that the author of the book has shown it very precisely about the groups that
Mm.
polarize against each other and that show different approaches to the solving or not solving of the problem.
Mm. Yeah.
So Netflix has got this huge advantage that it's got a very big, I mean, the vast reach that it can achieve with its media. I think that when people see this series, they may realize not only on the enjoyment level of watching the new material from Netflix, but also from the psychological level. Maybe some of us or some of people
Mm.
will recognize some psychological and behavioral patterns
Mm.
uh, of people's reactions to the, as I said, circumstance that cannot be managed by one or even the whole nation or group of nations.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And I think it was better portrayed in the book
Mm,
than it was in the series. It was still, I think, quite impactful. And if you read between the lines, you can get a lot from this, especially say how people behaviors and psychology of the crowds, etc. It's very interesting how people deal or not deal with the situations. As we say, we don't want to do any spoilers. But yeah, that's super interesting. And I remember reading this in the book. It was very impactful, I'd say.
yeah.
Uh, it had a very big impact on me. I was thinking, because those are the things that you don't usually think about on a daily basis, and they were like, boom.
Yeah,
So yeah.
and the second thing from the books, and I hope from the series, is the change of my perception of the dimensions. Because in the third book, there was a huge change uh, that happened to the main characters in the book. resulted from the dimensions. Yes, so not to give any spoiler again, it had a huge impact in me on my perception on things around me. So I
So
hope that
you can explain all 11 dimensions?
not all 11, but I can, from the books, what I've learned is that what you see and it is obvious for you, it doesn't have to be so obvious for the another person that spectates the same thing, for example. So regarding the dimension you are in or the point of perspective that you observe something, the conclusion can be totally different. And for taking into consideration also your culture background or religion background, yes, or your family background and social background as well. So the interpretation can be may vary.
Mm. It's interesting how you talked about a TV series and you took it to talking about psychology and perspectives and perception, right? I like that. You can look on things from different perspectives, which is great. But yeah, see, I thought it's gonna be nice, short and sweet, but here we go.
No, it will be very nice and short and sweet from my side too. I've got also three highlights from March, and the first is the time change that has not happened yet, but will happen on March 30th. So on 4 days. And why is it important for Europe? Because it is important because it destroys your balance that you gained within the last 6 months. So in a European autumn, you change the time from the summertime to the winter time, and within one night, your body feels a disastrous change in the daylight. So your body exposition to the daylight, in the waking up hour, and the time of going sleep. And European people have this tremendous change twice a year regarding the balance and mental balance and physical balance.
Yeah.
And it's very hard. I remember because in Thailand we don't have any time change at all. So during the year we've got the same time every month.
Without the year. Yeah.
Yes, through the whole year, and the sunset is merely the same time within the year, and the sunsets are also around the same time through the year. So you can easily adjust your organism to the natural balance and the daylight continuity each day through the year. In Europe, it is not. So people usually need at least 1 week after the time change to get accustomed to the new time zone. And it's very difficult. I remember when I used to live in Poland before I moved to Asia, that it made a huge impact on me. And I really suffered from the time change regarding my ability to focus, to feel of being tired, and also to a regeneration process as well. So that is my highlight. Therefore, it is my highlight for March, from March, because it's I can say, in my opinion, was one of the most important events that have probably the biggest mental impact on people. I mean, physical and mental impact on people in Europe. So
At least for like a week or two to get people adjust right to the new time, because it's not permanent. It's really short-term change, but it's quite strong because you just need to adjust. I think it was, as I say, when I was in Poland, I felt it's stronger, way stronger than I do feel in New Zealand, because we do have daylight savings and change time as well. But I don't feel it's as strong as it was in when I was in Europe.
Maybe it's because for example, the sunset time, it's not very different in time, setting time, because in Poland right now, as I checked today, the sunset is around 5:40, 5:50 p.m. And when you change the time, it will be 1 hour difference. So also the time you wake up, because in the winter time, as we said in one of our vlogs before, when you wake up in Europe in the winter time, you usually wake up when it's dark in the winter.
Yeah.
So there's right now will be that people wake up and the sun is up, but again the sunset time will be 1 hour earlier. So you still have got the limited time to have the full access to the sunlight, which also influences and affects your mental and physical processes within your body.
Yeah. And that's something that we quite often don't realize, that, you know, I have a bad mood, or I don't have this, or feeling like I'm not being able to focus, but it's actually not enough sunlight and the sleep disruptions. Well, we talked about sleep disruption a little bit before. So yeah, that's a highlight, but I always say the highlight is quite positive, but this one is more like, hey, remember, there's the thing coming up, so be aware of all the changes and observe probably your body and how you react on those changes.
And don't be so very harsh on yourself if you feel down, or if you feel not focused enough, or mentally distorted, because there's a huge change coming up in 4 days, and that's totally normal, that you need time to adjust yourself.
Cool.
Okay. Sorry, please, because I interrupted you. You wanted to say something.
No, I said cool. What's your next highlight?
Okay, the second is it's again from the tech world, but it can be comparable to the tech breakthroughs we had in the past. So what I mean is the first post written on X platform, so previously named Twitter, by a man only with using his mind. So it's like mind written a post, the first in the history post written by a human's mind. And it could be achieved by a 20-year-old, as far as I remember, 29-year-old man, Mr. It's worth to say his name and surname moment, because this is the first man in history, like Neil Armstrong. So it said he stepped on the moon. Noland Arbaugh, I think that's proper pronunciation. So Noland Arbaugh is the world's first Neuralink patient that has made history by posting a tweet on X, so formerly known as Twitter, just by thinking. And why is it important? Because, as we said before in February wrap-up, that the new technology will change the way we use for example, the way we use internet on some internet tools. And right now, we've got the evidence that it is possible without any peripheral artifacts, like, for example, PC mouse or PC keyboard, or S Pen with your Samsung, or any other third-party IT
devices,
hardware,
like typical devices.
Precisely, to interact with the internet world. And this can be comparable to the first. It's not science fiction, it's happening right now.
I know, but it was science fiction just a couple of years ago, right?
That's right. And it can be, just to know the weight of this event, it can be comparable to the first in the human history text message sent within the mobile phone, or first email sent using the email post. Yes. So this is a huge step onward. And for now, I mean, today we've got 2024. So it's very common and obvious to send a text message. It's very obvious to send an email. But a couple of decades ago, it was something huge. People spoke about this like a, wow, do you know that somebody somewhere in the world has sent the internet version of a traditional mail?
Mm.
Unbelievable, yes. And right
Mm.
now we are talking about this as a novelty, but in 10, for example, a decade or 2 decades, it can be imagined that people are sending the emails only by using their thoughts or only by thinking about it or sending
Mm.
any kind of data externally and importing data internally only by using their thoughts.
So people will become like, well, we have human computers, as we say, computers and humans will integrate potentially. Let's say, um, I just like, I think it's one part of me says it's awesome because, man, how many times I was just, I don't know, driving somewhere or doing something else and thinking, oh, I need to remember, or I need to send an email or send a text or do something. If I could do it with the power of my just mind and do it, it's like it will save me a lot of time and trouble and think like remembering things. But at the same time, there is also a lot of
Drawbacks.
yeah, and ethical potential issues. I don't want even to say open this this kind of it's like a Pandora's box. We can talk about it for
That's
hours,
true what you say.
but I think it's really interesting as a tech fact for March to look in and stay close to it as this develops and see what's next and where it leads to.
That's right. Yeah, this as you said, this is a novelty for now, just a tech novelty, a little bit science fiction novelty, but not anymore.
Yeah,
But for sure, it will shape the future people work and people behave. So
and communicate.
and
I think that,
communicate. Yeah.
like a big thing will be how we communicate and um, you know, is it it's almost like a first step to telepathy, right?
It
You can
can
say
be some.
you can
Yeah,
say if you think you have your something in your brain like as a microchip, I have mine. We don't need to talk to each other. I can send you my thoughts and you can receive my thoughts. So
so
maybe we don't need to talk and speak
so
anymore.
what does happen with the organ that you don't use in the evolutionary mean?
Yeah, well, it
It
stopped
disappears.
being, yeah,
It
you don't need
disappears.
it, so it disappears.
Yeah. So
Wow.
let's. Yeah. But it's also proven by the quantitative research that people in our era has got longer thumbs and more muscle
Yeah.
thumbs because we use
It-
smartphones, yes. And also people started to develop a new kind of bones at the back of head,
Mm,
which is the result of moving head constantly onward and pulling it
mm,
down because we are focusing on the smartphones.
mm.
So some of people are observed to have their bones grown from the back of the head. I mean, not growing out of the skin, but growing beneath, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Like
that's
thorns,
like
like thorns.
you can think of evolution took us millions of years, and now you can see it happening in our very eyes, right? And within
Yeah,
the let's say decades. So wow,
yeah. At the
kind of
table as
huge.
we speak of it.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
huge.
and yeah, and the third highlight of mine is local. So it's directed to Poland and it's from Poland. It's the contest, national contest run in Poland, called, let me say, uh, the Best of Wellbeing at Work, edition 2024. And why is it important, especially for the wellbeing industry, but also for me in person?
Mm,
It's because one of our clients has reached the place on the podium and has been awarded with the prize for its well-being efforts in the workplace. And it is important for me as a CEO of HelpDesk that this client uses extensively our corporate well-being programs to build his strategy. So I'm very proud of this client. I cannot say its name right now because I need a special authorization from the legal department of this company.
Of course.
So if I get it, I will post additional info on my LinkedIn with special and direct congratulations to this company. But it makes me very proud because more than 1 year ago, I think 1.5 years ago, this company came to a help desk asking for urgent help because they had really big problems regarding the managing process of well-being activities. They had some really bad situation inside, and they decided to start working with us. So we took over this client from our competition, and we rearranged the processes inside the company. We delivered higher level of customer experience, so and better services. And the change in the quality was so big that it's been awarded if I of the best companies in Poland. So it's a huge change within a very short time, and it's seen among other companies and in the well-being market in Poland. So it's very, very happy to see it, that people are within this company are better, and that our activities and this company's activities have been really appreciated and are set as an example for other companies on the market. So that's good.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations to the mystery company, and and congratulations to you. That's a good, I say it's recognition for all the initiatives, and I think it takes really guts and bravery for the company to say, hey, we are not doing great in that area, or we haven't been. We want to do more and help us. And in the short term, as I say, with the proper investments, of course, but also changing the mindset would be the big thing for them, because he usually is. So yeah, well done. I don't know what the company is, but I can probably Google it somewhere, so I'll have a look. But it's interesting to see what, and I think that could be an inspiration for others as well, if we can learn what this company has done to improve the well-being of its employees. That would be nice.
That's right. So thank you very much. I will pass the congratulations from New Zealand to the client. On your behalf and on my behalf as well from Thailand. And yeah, it's very heart lifting that you see that the things you do have a meaningful impact and help people to feel better, to live better, to work better, to keep the work-life balance, and to run a happy life. It's a very, very good feeling that you do something meaningful and something good. That's your good work.
Yeah, you got the sense of achievement, you got the sense of acknowledgement and pride, and what was the thing? Fulfillment, right? You actually do something that impacts people's lives and you can improve people's lives. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well done.
So thank you. And congratulations to you as well for the HR New Zealand Awards. So yes, so the March was a month of the contesting competitions. Luckily won by us, both of us. It was a time of change, especially time change, and also environmental change, like summer to autumn and winter to spring in Europe. And it's the time of the festive time and family time, so Easter. And also the March was the month of a tech breakthrough. Let's get prepared to start thinking about things we can do with our minds from now on.
That's a good summary. So I'll just say from me, happy Easter, everyone. And stay safe, stay warm, and spend the quality time as you said last time, can you switch off completely from technology and work, etc.? So that's what I wish everyone, switch off.
And in
Spend
10
time
years,
with your friends, families, and yeah,
in 10 years, you will say, switch off your chips.
yeah, like click. If it's even possible, who knows?
It's better possible. Okay. Have a great time, guys. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to our channel, to give us a thumb up if you like the material and content, and to share some info about our vlogs, weekly vlogs that are run on Wednesday. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.